Shut up and sit down.
And now, streaming live from the sunny Southern California coast, this is Options Uncensored.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve. Welcome to Options Uncensored. We're making real option trades in real time together. Let's get right into it. First things first, make sure you have your brokerage account open so you can follow along. Set your YouTube video quality as high as possible. That way you can read the numbers a whole lot easier. Have a calculator on hand so we can do some easy math. If you have a question or a stock you want to go over, leave it in the comments. We'll go over it live. And finally, remember, this is not financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's check our open positions. XBI down slightly, trying to get to 27. It's at 77, down 21 bucks. Not bad. Both our Boeing and Roku call spreads that are short are all completely underwater. So we'll look into rolling again today. SPY down 160, not bad. This has got some time. This is December expiration, so we got till next week, Friday, to figure out what we're going to do. We're short the 456 call, and that's exactly where we are right now. So it's hovering right on that in the money, out of the money, kind of no clear direction right now. If we can get a continued sell-off in the S&P 500 in the next week and a half, this will be fine. If not, we'll have to roll sometime next week. And finally, Micron, getting close. This maybe actually will close during the show today. If not, hopefully it'll close during the day today. All right, cool. Let's start by trying to roll both Boeing and Roku. So Roku first. We'll click the roll button. Trying to get, so we're going to close December and open January at the same strikes. We're going to type in 0. I know it's way out here, but that way what we're doing is we're not spending any money. We're basically just rolling it to the next month, just giving us more time, okay? So we'll spend 0, we'll receive 0. All we're doing is buying more time, okay? And we'll send that out. That'll hang out here. Same thing with Boeing. We're going to cancel this one. We'll click on here. We'll click roll. So we will close December and open the same strikes, same position in December. We'll set this as 0 as well. So we won't pay to roll it, but we won't receive any more money. It'll just be a flat out roll, okay? So we'll take the loss on December and give us more time at the higher price in January. Okay, so buy 1 to close, sell 1 to close, buy 1 220 to open. Sorry, sell 1 220 to open and buy 1 220 to open. We'll send that one out. So both the rolls for Roku and Boeing are here. They'll hang tight. Let's just really quick. Our cost basis on Boeing, let's write this down. 84 cents was the cost basis for Boeing. The cost basis for Roku was 69, okay? So keep those two numbers handy. If the positions get filled, we'll go over the math either during the show today if they get filled or tomorrow morning, okay? So we'll keep these both open the whole day. Let's look for some new positions. We'll start with GitLab. GTLB, this is post earnings. Gap up during the open, a huge sell-off for the first 45 minutes here and has rallied all the way back. Let's look at the options for January expiration. A little bit of volume here. On the call side, you'd want to sell the 70 and buy the 75. The 75 is not terribly liquid, though. You got a 15-cent spread here. On the put side, same thing. You'd want to sell the 49. Not enough volume here. Not enough open interest to make this interesting. But good for them. Post-earnings move, okay? Moving on. Let's look at CVS. I think CVS announced guidance revision, maybe? Raise the dividend. That's about it. I think they upgraded their guidance as well for 2024. Earnings are in February. Here's the chart. No clear direction here. You got this movement down, plus it's approaching the 200-day, but you also have this solid base here around 65 or so. So, on the call side, you'd have to sell the 77.5. You don't get paid for it, so skip that. And on the put side, if you sold the 65 and bought the 60, we'll do the math here. 62 minus 17 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.5%. Not worth it. Let's move on. Take two. TTWO down 2% today. I think they're in the news for their Grand Theft Auto trailer that was leaked on Twitter. And so the company just went ahead and released the actual authentic trailer. But the game's not going to come out till 2025. And I think people are upset about that. Earnings are in February. Here's your chart. Same thing, no clear direction. We've got this upward trend. On the put side, you'd want to sell. So there's no volume here. Someone sold at the money 1.3 thousand. So there's selling happening at the money. A lot of open interest here, but not a lot of volume today. So skip this. On the call side, liquidity's better here on the call side. 10-cent spread here at the 165. 165 is too close, though. And the 170 is too far out. This one's close, but no cigar. Let's move on. Follow up on Uber. Earnings are in February. Great. Big move up. The gap up yesterday and it sold off and it's selling off again. So this move, we may have missed it. Call side. Skip the call side. Put side. If you want to sell the 52.5 and buy the 47.5, that's 61 minus 17 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.5%. We'll go ahead and take Uber off this list. Next up will be J&J. J&J. I think the CEO was on Squawk Box early this morning. The news was potential growth. 25 blockbuster drugs. Earnings are January 23rd. As far as the chart goes, it's hitting the 200-day, so that's interesting. Let's look at the call side. You'd have to sell the 170. It's too far out. On the put side, same thing. If you sold the 150 and bought the 145, it's awfully close, though. 72 minus 33 divided by 2 divided by 500, and then 4%. Skip J&J altogether. Next will be Starbucks. So Starbucks' story today is I think they're down 12 days in a row. That doesn't mean much. Earnings are in February. Let's take a look at the chart. Down, 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 down. So we want to look at the put side here. Should catch a bid anywhere between 95 and 91. On the put side for January, if you sold the 90, so this makes sense, sell the 90 by the 85. 53 minus 22 divided by 2 divided by 500, 3%. You're not getting paid for it. What about the call side? You'd have to sell the 105. The 100 is too close. Skip Starbucks. Moving on. CRMT is next. Down 17%. We can already skip this one. There are no January options available. Moving on. Let's look at Pinduoduo. and the K-Web in general. I think China overall got downgraded by somebody this morning. Moody's. That makes it, yeah. China's credit got downgraded by Moody's today to negative. No clear direction here. On the put side, you sold the 132 and bought the 127. That's 78 minus 30 divided by 2 divided by 500. Not even 5%. Skip the call side on, skip the put side. On the call side, if you sold the 150 and bought the 155, that's 104 minus 46 divided by 2 divided by 500. Almost 6% there. So, where's 150 on the chart? Too close. That's way too close. Pass. Let's look at the K-Web. This includes all the internet stocks like Alibaba, Pinduoduo. Same thing. IV rank is 0 according to E-Trade. Just locked in this channel of no movement. Rather have a distinct movement down or a distinct movement up. Here it's just locked in this channel with no clear direction. Pass. Next. Expedia, following up on Expedia. Maybe time to take this one off the list. It's hitting resistance here. Will it pull back? Selling the call side for January. Sold the 146 and buy the 150. That's 67 minus 29 divided by 2 divided by 400. Not even 5%. On the put side, if you sold the 131, skip the put side. Moving on, we'll take Expedia off the list. Next will be Smuckers, SJM, post-earnings move here, up almost 4%. All right. On the put side, to a liquid. Same thing with the call side. No movement here. Nothing to do. Moving on. Let's look at the KRE. Banks moving down now. Maybe we can sell the call side. We don't have bank earnings now until mid to late January. You'd have to sell the 50 and buy the 53. 31 minus 5 divided by 2 divided by 300. 4.3% there. We don't have volatility anywhere, so we're not getting paid for anything. AT&T is next. Up today. Deal with Ericsson. Here's our chart. Big movement up here. Earnings are January 24th, so that would be after expiration. Call side. You'd have to sell the 18. Then you'll get a whopping 2 cents for it. Pass. Moving on. Procter & Gamble. News today. That's right. They have to pay a $1.3 billion fee to acquire Gillette. Ouch. Earnings at the end of January. Same thing at post-expiration. Here's our chart. Look at the put side here. Not a lot of volume. If you sold the 145 and bought the 140, $47 minus 14 divided by 2 divided by 500, 3.3%. No bueno. Next, let's take a look at gold. Our gold short call spread did not fill yesterday. Selling off again. On the call side for January, he sold the 196 and bought the 200. I think that was the same strikes as yesterday. 140 minus 196. Sell the 196 and buy the 200. That's a $400 spread. 140 minus 85 divided by 2 divided by 400, 6.8%. $196 on the chart. Up here. Doesn't mean it can't get there. Most certainly can. 196. That would be for the GLD an all-time high. Interesting. Don't sell the put side. You have to sell the 178 and you don't get paid for it. All right, let's look at the TLT. We haven't looked at the TLT in a long time. It's up 1.5% today. That's big. Waiting for it to get to this 200-day moving average, the 97. If you sold the call side now, your short strike would be 99, so you're out of it. You're past it. Sell the 99 and buy the 103. 71 minus 28 divided by 2 divided by, what was that, 400? 5.3%. For the TLT, the ETF, that's not a bad return. What about the put side? If you sold the 89 and bought the 85, that's 44 minus 12 divided by 2 divided by 400, 4% there. So you definitely want to sell the call side. Let's look at Coinbase. I think Coinbase is up again today. Holy smokes. Cuckoo. Earnings are in February. Said I want to sell at 150. Getting awfully close to 150. I think this is all Bitcoin reaction. I think the problem with this one is it's too illiquid. It's hard to fill this one. On the call side, if you sold the 190 and bought the 195, 525 minus 465 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6% on the nose there. Whereas 190 on the chart. 190 is right about here. That makes sense. That seems very fairly priced. Liquidity is the issue. 25-cent spread here. Same thing here. It's going to be hard to fill this one. If you want to go farther out, what if you sold the 230 and bought the 240? That's $1,000 spread. $203 minus 165 divided by 2 divided by 1,000. That's 1.9%. That's the worst I've ever seen. So skip that. If you want to do the call side, sell this $500 spread. Sell the 190, buy the 195. But I'm going to pass on this one myself. Let's look at a firm. Following up on a firm. Maybe time to take this one off the list. It's down slightly today, but it's already rallying back. On the call side, if you sold the 47.5, no, sell the 50 by the 55. It's 108 minus 65 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.3% there. Not so great. All right, let's go to our IV rank scanner, see if there's anything with even a hint of volatility. IWM, a little bit. Let's check it out. We traded this one maybe a week or two ago. We talked about selling the call spread yesterday. We should have. Probably would have closed already. On the call side for January. Today, if you wanted to sell the 197, and buy the 200. $300 spread. Let's do the math. 197. That's 107 minus 70 divided by 2 divided by 300. 6.1%. It's not bad. You'll definitely get filled. Where's 197 on the chart? 197 is way up here. I kind of like this one. We could sell this one. Okay, so for January, we'll sell the 197 and buy the 200. This is a $300 spread. If you have a small account, less than $1,000, you can sell this one. So we'll go here to verticals. We'll set this as 3. We'll look for the 197, 200. It's way down here. We'll go for 39. 39 divided by 300. 39 divided by 2 divided by 300. 6.5% potential return there. This is a small one. This is a baby. So we'll sell one January 197 call, and we'll buy one January 200 call. Let's go ahead now and change this to 40. Limit credit of 40. Let's preview this. Sell one 197 call to open and buy one 200 call to open. Receive $40. We'll go ahead and send that one out. Those will hang tight here. If it does get filled today, we'll set the buy to close order at 20 cents. Okay? Moving on. TLT we already looked at. Marathon will skip. Robinhood will skip. Silver will skip. Coinbase we already looked at. Tempting. The GLD, we already checked that one out. The KRE, we already looked at that one. GameStop. Earnings are tomorrow after the close. We'll follow up on Thursday morning. Skip. Plug will skip. Macy's. Does Macy's have earnings coming up or something? Let's take a look at Macy's. Holy moly. Earnings are in March. Maybe they're on bankruptcy outlook. Never mind. I think it's just we've had this big, strong movement up, and it's just pulling back ever so slightly. No move here. Back to the list. Newmont. It's just a gold play. Maybe they have earnings coming up. Earnings are in February. This is just a gold play. I'd rather short the GLD than short Newmont. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Chewy must have earnings. Yep, tomorrow after the close. We'll follow up Thursday morning on Chewy. Newmont we looked at. The GDX, stick to the GLD. It's more liquid. Pfizer. Fireside chat? No, the Breast Cancer Symposium, that's right. Pass. Costco has earnings on the 14th. Wonderful. CVS we already looked at. No to Zim. Bitcoin ETF will pass. AI. FXI. Stick to the KWeb. UNG. Tilray. No. Enphase. Please. Let's look at that FXI really quick. I haven't looked at this one in a long time. No, you don't get paid for it. Pass. Last page and then we'll be done for today. ALB. Down 4% today. Not a lot of volume, but you definitely get paid for it. Earnings are February 14th. Downgrade from Piper Sandler, that's why. Interesting. Should catch some support anywhere between 108 and 100. On the put side, not terribly liquid here. You'd want to sell the 95. This one's not bad. Sell the 95, buy the 90. Not very liquid though. 205 minus 135 divided by 2 divided by 500, 7% on the nose. This one you definitely get paid for, but not a lot of volume. 10 cents spread here, 15 here, 10 cents spread here. Close, but no cigar. All right, that'll do it for today. So if the Russell ETF short call spread gets filled, we'll set a buy to close order at 20. We're trying to roll Boeing and Roku. If they do get filled, we'll go over all that tomorrow. If they don't get filled, these are just going to fall where they may. The expiration for December is next Friday. So as we get closer to the expiration, if these don't get rolled, on the day of expiration, we'll go over what we can do to mitigate some risk. We'll just have to take losses. We haven't taken losses the entire year. We made it all the way to January with no losses. That's okay. we've made tons and tons of trades so far, so more than makes up for it. Cool. Maybe we'll roll the SPY too. Let's take a look one more second. We just need more time. We can always get more time. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in every morning, 7:15 a.m. on the West Coast, 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast. We go live every morning trading options. Let your friends who are also trading options know to tune in. We'll trade options together. See you tomorrow morning. Have a great Tuesday.